So we were saying that we're going to try to do something different. We're not really different, but we'll look at Africa. We want to show a video, the Scramble for Africa. But we want to say, well, what is it that we are learning? Rome had a big problem. They have a problem. But then they are very convincing people, because since the people came into the capital, the newsreel are projecting that one man caused all this problem, and them consistent in saying that, but they're not looking at the cause, and they're just calling out this man name all the time. But they've been suppressing the real issues for years. And what is being exposed is the racism that got out to the world as to what did happen, the murder of George Floyd and others. But we must watch and see, look and see how quick they have done so many things, but there had been no discussion in that same Senate to look for a resolution and a solution to the discrimination and racism in America. No amendments, no change of police practices in relation to African Americans. You need to remember that and not to let that slip, because then it means that we're not paying full attention, we're looking at the theatrics. Yes.
Hey, moving forward, yeah. Forward, march, march, till we get justice. March, 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 resist injustice. March, even if blood run, we will not back down. We keep on going. We keep holding on. We got no guns and no nuclear bombs, man. Unity make us strong, strong, strong. Why should we be silent while we are being down pressed? We must rise up on our feet and protest. March, march, injustice march. Beatings and tear gas, rubber bullets and tasers, water cannon, still we are gallant. Live ammunition, still hold position. Keep the resistance. No give up, we give thanks. We won't be silenced by their violence. We'll be chanting right to the end. March, march, till we get justice. March, 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 resist injustice. March. Oh, this burden my ancestors carry, hoping to turn a new page in our story. Still we struggle, blood, sweat and sorrow. Will our children fight the same battle tomorrow? We must overcome through the powers of the Most High for the betterment of the children. March, march, till we get justice. March, 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 resist injustice. March, 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 till we get justice. March, 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 resist injustice. March.
Yo, I'm big with him, this you know. Listen, boom, tune a play. How we are there with Peckins? Big tune with DJ. I'm body on the man. Hey, hey, hey. Me ready for done the place now. Well, this one I gonna make you rock, rock. This one I gonna make you dance it non-stop, stop, boom. Well, this one I gonna make you twist, twist. So put this tune on your iPod playlist. And make me tell you again that this one I gonna make you rock, rock. This one I gonna make people dance it non-stop, stop. Hey, this one I gonna make my granny move. This one I gonna make my granddad jump up and draw him shoe. Come make us scam now, a boom. Well, this one is the lyrical vacation. To all the music lovers, them all over the nation. But if you dance, me no care the time, place or occasion. But the business if you're black, Caucasian or Asian. I know the elders don't need no persuasion. Songs like this will give them a memory invasion. So this tune for play on each and every radio station. And when them rhythm a play and dance when they in another operation. So yeah me no man, cause this one I gonna make you rock, rock. This one I gonna make you dance it non-stop, stop, boom. Well this one I gonna make you twist, twist. So put this tune for your cell phone playlist. I make me tell you again that this one I gonna make you rock, rock. This one I gonna make you dance it non-stop, stop. Hey, this one I gonna make Cynthia move. This one I gonna make Padito jump up and draw him shoe. Never let me skip now. Remember I told you this. The night or day, life to dance nose to this. And hold your girl tight. You can't stand up and pose to this. That now go look right. Only if you sweat up your clothes to this. Designer pinstripe. If you want this select a wheel up, then shout brap, brap, brap. If you not hear you, then beat the speaker box, box, box. If you're there in a dance, just give someone if you stop, stop, stop. And tell if you pull up the man and play it back from the top, top, top. Cause it's a fact that this one I make you rock, rock.
The other day I was in California, Me and me brethren a drive on the highway when some police come our way and say pull over on the hard shoulder. The officer said to my brethren, do you have any marijuana in the car? My brethren said, yes officer, I do. I have an ounce or two. Then he showed the officer a card and the officer said, okay, be on your way and have a good day. Me said to my brethren, what kind of card that? You a diplomat? Him said, no Maccabee, it's me medical marijuana card for me asthma. You see, as soon as me reach back in England, me go to the doctor. Me said, doctor, sure, give me the card like the doctor, them abroad. Me say me want a medical marijuana card. And the medicine we hold in a high regard. Me say me want a medical marijuana card. It's in America, why not in a yard? Me say we want a medical marijuana card. Want it in England too, me say all abroad. Me say we need a medical marijuana card. Me say it good for the asthma, multiple sclerosis, and it good for the cancer. Good for migraine and it good for glaucoma. Good pain reliever and the stress of myeloma. Sure. Well anyway, me say me go to the doctor. Me tell him about the medical marijuana. Me tell him about the card in California. Them have it in America, how come me not on ya? Sure. Well anyway, doc, you see me I get older, and me find me have a little pain in my shoulder. It helps me massage it and go to the sauna. Another pain reliever is the marijuana. You know say I no lie, doc, you know me I no faker. Just give me the card, doctor, give me the paper. Only this morning me get this headache, yeah. Me need some medicine from Jamaica. Just give me the card like the doctor, them abroad. Me say me want a medical marijuana card. And the medicine we hold in a high regard. Me say we want a medical marijuana card. It's in America, why not in a yard? Me say we want a medical marijuana card. Want it in England too, me say all abroad.
I fish a little data.
Aye. This one hotter than lava.
Where you say skip? Step it to.
Me there studio, me no feel say you ready for that one, yeah.
Run it now.
Yo, yo, yo. Yaga, yaga, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Hey. Stepping on my face, better come correct. Talking to me, better be direct. No cryptic language, may I suggest. For real, I say. Life's too short, put on bad mind. Them your kind of trait is so unkind. If you know overs, press rewind. For real, I say, boy, I wanna know what you are dealing with. When you wanna knock on my door, remember love, how you deal with. Hey. Me no roll in a posse crew a gang. One pair of shoes just fit me one. I am cliqueless, therefore I am for real, I say. Music, love and life I live. Try your best to be positive and your actions proactive. For real. And I say, boy, I wanna know what you are dealing with. When you wanna knock on me door, remember love I deal with. And I say, boy, I wanna know what you are dealing with. When you wanna knock on me door, remember love I deal with. Yeah, Yaga, yaga, yo, yo.
Shape and your body turns me on. Yeah, you're looking good, like you know that you should. Anything you do, make me feel good. Come on, just take it off the way I like it, girl. Come take it off. Your body's so enticing. Take it off, girl, you rock my world. Take it off and let me see. Oh, baby, it's like a mystery. Whenever I see your face, I get so irate. Baby, come on and talk to me. I will give you love endlessly. Yeah, just take it off. You know I like it, girl. Come on and take it off. Your body looks so good. Just take it off. You're so sweet, girl. Like sugar and spice. Everything that is nice. Yeah. On and on till the break of dawn, till me and you. Oh, me to live on the farm, I live cars around the women. In farm, I live cars around the women. In farm, I live cars around the women. Oh, me to survive in the farm, I live cars around the women. In farm, I live cars around the women. Farmer, the cars around the women. I'm right there. In farmer, I move the blind and the curtain. Oh, me fit was a me no circle. Even though they tell me girl, they body bag and blouse and skirt. The pretty girl, me have way out of burden. I want you to see you and this bag of lurching. You perching, you step on your pull while the cops them searching. You want to make house on the road. Me can't call the boy, they be circling and lurking. Oh, me to live on the farmer. I live cars around the women. In farm, I live cars around the women. In farm, I live cars around the women. Oh, me feel so vibe in farm, I live cars around the women. In farm, I live cars around the women. In farm, I live cars around the women. I'm your move to the area code. You are move to that area mode. Information we are here today, I'll put that upload and upload. You are move in the stereo mode. You think a little bit of time is in your face, just appear in the crowd. Make a move, you just appear in the crowd. You take a stop, you take a look, and you can just disappear in the crowd. Get the money from the feds and now you're ready to throw. Oh, make the live on the farm, I live cars around the women. In farm, I live cars around the women. In farm, I live cars around the women. Oh, me feel so vibe in the farm, I live cars around the women. In farm, I live cars around the women. Reading like this will expose, man. Who said about artists are not even close, man? The thing I move, them boy they are those, man. The DJ from the diaphragm, them chat to them nose, man.
This is your popular station.
Run it now.
From the top.
Start reminiscing for me, hear this big rhythm. One job to make jungle, make clocks and linen. Find a big dance, we go DJ and sing. Don't know that I'm my thing, king. Man and woman come together and cling. Bubble and wine in perfect timing. Black and white, we no prejudice skin. Peace and love we a bring. Now let me sing. Yeah, the rhythm ya give me a vibe. The rhythm ya give me a vibe. The rhythm ya give me a vibe. He make I want to ride and glide and come alive. The rhythm ya give me a vibe. The rhythm ya give me a vibe. The rhythm ya give me a vibe. No for them hear it, run way and hide. Rhythm like this stand the test of time. So me have to bless it with the best of pride. No booga nothing where people can overstand. Listen my song, there's no question sign. This music's real and raw. Authentic reggae that we stand for. Not the diluted thing, you hear them a sing. We know that now go reach far. You hear me star. The rhythm ya give me a vibe. The rhythm ya give me a vibe. The rhythm ya give me a vibe. He make I want to ride and come alive. The rhythm ya give me a vibe. The rhythm ya give me a vibe. The rhythm ya give me a vibe. No for them hear it, run way and hide. From me get the rhythm from demolition. Him say ranger, you know we there on a mission. This music we love is going through a transition. We have to uphold the foundation and tradition. Try Studio One, scare the thing there. Got the rhythm them fat and roll like pampute. No last week or from yesterday. Who not like that me tell them fi quit. I got to say, yeah, that rhythm ya give me a vibe. That rhythm ya give me a vibe. That rhythm ya give me a vibe. He make I want to ride and glide and come alive. That rhythm ya give me a vibe. That rhythm ya give me a vibe. That rhythm ya give me a vibe. No for them hear it, run way and hide. Rhythm like
Yes. So now we want to switch over and make you all see this video, Scramble for Africa, and then return. Them two artists there, Ras Demo and Ras Ranger, saying they're not strangers right here. So check this out. We have got Classroom.
Today we'll talk about Africa, once seen by Europe as the antithesis of civilization, the heart of darkness, in the words of a certain Joseph Conrad. Centuries later, Africa remains ignored. It makes news for its conflicts, poverty, and exoticism. For the longest time, the world saw it as a lost cause. Then one country saw opportunity, and thus began a new race for Africa, not very different from the scramble of the 19th century when colonial Britain and France wanted raw materials, slaves, and geopolitical influence. Now, in the 21st century, global powers are in more or less the same race. China, the United States, India, the European Union, Japan, Israel, Canada, all of these countries are in the race for Africa. And one country is emerging as the clear winner. Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay, and this is Africa, a continent of 54 sovereign states, 17% of the world's population, 9.6% of the global oil output, 90% of the world's platinum supply, 90% of the world's cobalt supply, half of the world's gold supply, 2/3 of the world's manganese, 35% of the world's uranium, 75% of the world's coltan, and 54 votes in the United Nations General Assembly. This is what makes Africa so attractive and makes the continent a battleground for global powers. There are numerous fronts: investment and infrastructure, military power, diplomacy, soft power, trade, geopolitics. Every country has its own interest in Africa. In 2016, Israel began its scramble for the continent. Benjamin Netanyahu became the first Israeli Prime Minister to visit Africa in 50 years. What did he want? Votes in favor of Israel and against Palestine in the United Nations resolutions. Africa and Israel share similar histories, he said. Israel went on to sponsor solar, water and agricultural technologies. In the same year, 2016, Senegal co-sponsored a UN resolution. It condemned the construction of illegal Jewish settlements in the West Bank. What did Israel do? It cancelled the Mashav drip irrigation project. And this is just one example. Here's another one. The European Union has pledged more than $54 billion in sustainable investment for Africa. What does the EU want? Access to the African market of 1.3 billion people. Brussels has negotiated free trade agreements with at least 40 African countries. But does this ensure a balanced two-way trade? It doesn't. And no country has a bigger interest in Africa than China. China is funding 1 in 5 infrastructure projects in Africa. It is building every third one. Africa has an infrastructure deficit and China has a signed checkbook. Starting 2005, China has invested at least $2 trillion in Africa. It built 6,200 kilometers of railways, including the continent's longest railway line connecting Ethiopia and Djibouti. Beijing has also built the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa. What does China get in return? A lot. Geopolitical influence to start with. Beijing is selling its culture, its currency. In Guinea-Bissau, exit signs are written in Mandarin. China has established at least 50 Confucius Institutes across 33 countries. Several African countries use Chinese currency. China also gets a strategic overseas base. In 2017, China built its first overseas base at the Horn of Africa, Djibouti to be specific. Djibouti connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Indian Ocean via the Suez Canal. The base has the capacity to accommodate 10,000 troops. China also gets a market to dump its goods. China is Africa's largest trading partner. Chinese trade has increased 40-fold in the last 2 decades. At least 10,000 Chinese firms operate in Africa. This is according to a McKinsey study. Africa has resources and China has access. Did you know that a third of China's investments in Africa are in the mining sector? And finally, it gets to debt trap Africa. But here's the thing, China is not the only country investing in this continent. It's not even the biggest. The United States is Africa's largest investor. It accounts for $54 billion of FDI stock. There are 600 American companies operating in South Africa alone. And this, even after the US president called Africa this. For the longest time, Africa was nothing but a war zone for Washington. It has over 7,000 troops deployed in the continent. They are spread across some 13 African countries, including Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Libya, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, South Sudan, Somalia, and Tunisia. For the US, Africa was a continent for counter-terrorism operations. What happened then? Why is the US suddenly interested in Africa? The answer is this. For the US, Africa is now a new front to take on China, and Washington is now fighting it out for power and influence. An article on the US State Department website reads, and I quote, "Africa is the continent of the future. Thus, we need to make the most of its potential. By 2050, its population will more than double to 2.2 billion people, with over 60% under the age of 25. Where is Africa's interest in all of this? Also, what about India? What role does India play in this continent? New Delhi's ties with Africa date back to the time of Mahatma Gandhi. India was part of the Bandung Project of 1955. New Delhi supported Africa's anti-colonial struggles. It supported the liberalization movements in Ghana, Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Angola, Mozambique, Guinea-Bissau. India also raised the issue of racism in South Africa. It will be unfair to say, though, that India's newfound interest in Africa has nothing to do with China. In 2018, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi toured key African states just ahead of Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit. In 2018, India decided to open 18 new embassies in Africa. India has defense partnerships with Zambia, Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, Botswana, Uganda, Mozambique, and Namibia. New Delhi is currently training African military. Indian company Airtel is a dominant telecom firm in Africa. New Delhi is offering 50,000 scholarships to African students. Despite everything, India is far behind China in the race for Africa. China's Belt and Road Initiative has sealed its hold on Africa. If in the 1900s Africa was colonized with force, in 2020 it is being trapped by loans. China accounts for 14% of sub-Saharan debt. In Kenya, the volume of Chinese loans is 6 times that of France, which is the country's second largest creditor. And Sri Lanka can tell you what happens when Chinese loans are not repaid. China is looking to capture Africa. It has a strong diaspora, it is spending big money, it is selling its movies, culture and currency. China extracts raw materials, it manufactures products with them and sells them back to this continent. Does this remind you of something? What did the British do in India? In the 19th century, the rivalry between Britain and France fueled Africa's colonization. In the 21st century, the trade war between the United States and China is hastening the same. Just like the 19th century, there are numerous countries in the scramble for Africa, and just like the 19th century, there is nothing in it for Africa.
Gravitas Plus, co-presented by Skoda. Simply clever.
Today we'll talk about Africa, once seen by Europe as the antithesis of civilization, the heart of darkness, in the words of a certain Joseph Conrad. Centuries later, Africa remains ignored. It makes news for its conflicts, poverty and exoticism. For the longest time, the world saw it as a lost cause. Then one country saw opportunity and thus began a new race for Africa, not very different from the scramble of the 19th century when colonial Britain and France wanted raw materials, slaves and geopolitical influence. Now in the 21st century, global powers are in more or less the same race. China, the United States, India, the European Union, Japan, Israel, Canada, all of these countries are in the race for Africa. And one country is emerging as the clear winner. Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay, and this is Africa, a continent of 54 sovereign states, 17% of the world's population, 9.6% of the global oil output, 90% of the world's platinum supply, 90% of the world's cobalt supply, half of the world's gold supply, 2/3 of the world's manganese, 35% of the world's uranium, 75% of the world's coltan, and 54 votes in the United Nations General.
Yes, that is what has been on, is on the agenda, is the agenda, and that is what the leadership of Barack Hussein Obama has brought about in his 8 years for the African continent. So from that happened, China decided, hey, what? Let me go there and offer them things that they definitely need so we can get things that we need. There's a good trade-off, you know? But what is to be examined is how important that landmass is to the Caucasian world. It's important to humanity, but the Caucasian world is about taking, not requesting, asking, and negotiating. That's the difference. And from a historic point of view, a lot of us in the diaspora romanticize and yesteryears and pay very little attention to now. And yesteryear's illusion, because it's an illusion, you know. Why? Because they're only dealing with Kemet. And we Muslims here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He's closed it. For the wrongs to which we have done. So there's no agreement and no understanding on how we did accomplish anything. So we would have continued, or we would have assessed and reproduced our excellence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, those who believe, that He closed it. As in, shut it off from up and coming generations for the wrongs that we have done during that time. So what am I saying? If time have been spent assessing ourselves and making peace with ourselves, as in with our Creator, we would have been able to return. And since we're not doing that, we haven't done that to date, and we've let the European continually and consistently confuse us as well. Because to me, they definitely know our true potential and capabilities. So they control us, so we don't find ourselves. It's not discovering diamonds, gold. It's nothing about any of those things. And then when them take a bundle of religion, or religiosity, and put in that space where we congregate and socialize, then we actually behave like them. We act and react like them. And then they want our institutions to be like theirs. And it's not so much like. It is them who control the institution. So all of our structures are actually European. We don't have no individuality. We don't. Even the traditionalists cannot help dressed in suits at home, not abroad. So you see, there's something wrong mentally. And our moral high ground that has been awarded to us by the Almighty as well. They have done everything possible in the diaspora to erase that. So we have so much decadence in our midst. We disrespect and disregard our women. And then we disrespect our lives. Because with all the narcotics and all of these things, these vices, change our moral stance. And we become demons like them. We act and react because we're trained, taught, and we follow. Don't get frightened. And don't be dismissive because it's factual, it's true. It's when we get hurt, when we recognize that we're boxed in a corner, we get hurt. We go into our reservoir and find our morals, our principles. Because we're hurting. And that pain makes us really examine ourselves to a high level. But the change that what we require is to be independent. The Caribbean, the continent, everywhere there's Habashi, black man and women. We're influenced, we're controlled, we're dictated to. So I mention religion because there's people out there who would always say that, or the Muslim I said this, but them a Christian. And they don't associate or examine al-Islam and Africa. They don't acquaint them. But yet still they want to be Pan-African, they want to be this, that. But they're Christian. And then to validate that, they tell you that a place like Abyssinia is Christian. And Abyssinia never had nothing to do with what was taking place in Europe. So to coin a phrase or title, Christendom for Abyssinia, is totally wrong. But for some people in reasoning, you can understand because they want to put a spin upon the thing, and we can work with that. Because we are talking about the followers of Moses. We are talking about the followers of Solomon and David. They're talking about the followers of Noah. We're talking about the followers of Abraham, alayhi salam. Talking about the followers of Jacob, alayhi salam. We're talking about the followers of Isa, alayhi salam. That's what we're speaking of. And the names are not European. And the construct of Constantinople, blah, 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 and Paul, blah, blah, has nothing to do with Abyssinia. Has nothing to do with the continent. With the exception that some things the Greeks got, them take some of those things and push into the thing that them create, call in the Bible. Them don't have the Zabur, and they don't have the Injil. But the diasporan African want everybody as black people to adhere to them without recognizing that they are followers. Them behave worse than the pastor. Because they defend it. And they are defending nothing. And then they become offensive. And they have very little to say about Islam, only that those Arabs castrated the black people, they were the first slave out. And then you say, well, hold on. Slow down a trifle second. Not a minute, a second. You're also speaking of yourself. No, you said that because you're one of them. One of what? A human being. Yeah, I'm a human being. So that's why them cloud their minds of some of what took place in Kemet. Whether they recognize it or not. And even if they go along with the European concocted story, they agree with it. And then I don't know how many hundreds of Europeans has translated the alphabet, alleged alphabet of our families, ancestors of Kemet. And they will argue. And then they agree with something them call the Book of the Dead and so forth and so forth. Where are their accomplishments? Should not the gods be changed and transformed? And if we were onto something so profound, why haven't we lent that knowledge to our African brothers and sisters who are actually running the continent? Because it's superficial. It's spooky. Know ye the truth, and truth will set you free. Even though that's been taken from the Bible, we in the diaspora, the children of the slave, we need to know freedom. We need to know free and claim freedom. So if we know anything of our ancestors, we will know free. And we will embrace freedom. Not for trinkets, for life and its liberty. And our transitioning and our development of our families, our children, would happen. We would have made great headways. Because we have a deep desire to go home. And even though we have that, we're lost. We don't know how to achieve it. We've been saying, as Rasta, we have to look into Abyssinia. And as Muslim, we've been saying the same thing. So intellectually, we in the diaspora would have learned. We would have learned and we would have recognized our ancestry. But we refuse. We refuse. And we let the man poison us and we become prejudiced against ourselves. And by the time someone reach all 50, 60 and start recognizing something, and then 1 and 2 word we get to pronounce, and we feel good within ourselves. But the vast number didn't get to hear those words. And they could have, but because they don't appreciate that endeavor to learn something of ourselves through our own investigation, most of the historians around Kemet, they spend very little time reflecting Akhenaten, the father's Tutankhamun, because the West told him that he brought about something new. Lie. What he stood for was not to change. And what they say, he brought about something new, saying monotheism, the oneness, the one God. Not gods. But where did he leave and go? Straight up the Nile, into what we call today Sudan, which was yesterday Greater Sudan. And for some strange reason, well, not it's strange, but it's true. Theological education, white teachers, white historians have deflected our minds. They didn't do nothing to us. We had choice. And we finish up rejecting Akhenaten. And we reject Sudan. And we accept His Imperial Majesty and nothing else. That is very true. Stop it. Don't get vexed. Because nobody that I know, we should refrain from generalizing, has integrated with any tribe, any groups, besides saying them gone to Shashamali. Ethiopia is huge. Ethiopia have vast number of tribes or groups. Ethiopia even have some Bantus that are stable in Ethiopia. Now, if the Lion of Judah is being recognized by many of us from Ethiopia. What is the problem? That's a huge light. If ones were following that light, could never get lost. Never. But we negated the light, that light, for Europeanism and then Britishism, King James, and everything that they stand for. And just to solidify something, once just say, His Imperial Majesty, I, Selassie. Him is not Ethiopia. He's just a speck of the history of Ethiopia, because he's Ethiopian. So you can't strip him. But you have to look beyond him, as well as embracing all of Ethiopia, its people. So we would embrace an understanding and a closeness and an infinity for God Almighty. Yes, yesterday and today and every other day. Because it's truth. We want some truth. So we start learning truth. We would understand how to dismiss falsehood and not to be conned and misused. Because we will become rebonded to our family. Every mother is bound to her child. Yes, unique. Not the father, the mother. The father have to work extraordinarily hard for that. What is that? Make himself available. But the mother, natural bonding. Natural. And we all should understand how that works and recognize that. But the father, the male, I'm have to work for it. That's why I'm have to show up as a responsible human being for his action, true to his intention, and then commit that intention, that action, to what we would term a father. What is all this? That's how we reconnect ourselves with the Almighty, by reconnecting ourselves with one segment of Africa. Yes, this is Islam teaching. But the forces don't want us to acknowledge that and to behave that way. Because once we connect, we're free. We are spiritually independent. We are morally, ethically, we are free. And they don't want that. And it's not I am free, you're not free. We are free. And then we strive for perfection in this life. And we can go on through and do and please our heart's desire. That's what it means to be human. And that's what it means to be blessed and honored by God. Not wars, gross difficulties. No. That's man. That's man that's zealous. That's man. It's not God. Look at ourselves. Look at our bodies. Is it out of sync? No. What is it that sustains what we call life? Is it fragmented? No. We cherish it. It's just that we don't show it enough. But we love life. We do. All human beings do. Let one of us tell another that we're so sick and we not have no medicine that I think can help. You want to see how you're missing life just in your mind, in our minds. Let alone someone that you love and they get sick and you see them withering away and then you're told that there's nothing medically them can do. You just start realizing that, oh, you should appreciate life. Because the reality is come home. And we don't have nothing, no source of power to be able to turn that round. And then we start getting flashes of what was. Because we want it to stay the way it was. And there's nothing we can do. But now, we become very spiritual. And that's where it's too late shall be our cry. Because it's now we start, oh God, help such and such. And that's the reality. What's all this to do with? It's to stop shooting boxes, punches, visible and invisible punches at ourselves. And I'm saying, enough of the Caucasian man thing. Leave them to them thing. And let's move a different way. Yes! I'm telling you. Their dictation, their democracy, leave it alone, man. For them thing. We have to find our thing. One, two people with some pittance and we feel good, natural with these little pittance. It's not going anywhere. We leave nothing behind of encouragement. There's nothing encouraging for our children. We're missed immediately, and then we're not missed anymore. Because we haven't done anything. Plain amusement. People dismiss that in a couple hours or few weeks. It come like we was never here. Come like we never existed. But you see that same Caucasian man there? Him transition, regardless what happened, him transition. Because he want to dominate. And then borrow from Rome. And they've kept Rome going, and Rome has kept them going. A their thing. And they have mystified us. And all we have done is been disobedient to God. And what he's done on the continent and in the Caribbean is made us to be disobedient to ourselves and to mankind. Because we kill with one another. And then we're going to do some atrocious things that are called crime. Learn behaviors and attitudes. They're the most warmongering people ever. Not we. And they take our story and twist it. So now, who's Bani Israel? Who's the children of Israel? Who's the alleged Jew? Someone else. Because we just haven't faced up to the truth. Or seek out the truth. And recognize our faults. Naughty people. And let imposters run with the mantle, with the torch. Now you're saying, well, how come they're successful? Successful how? Because they have material? If they were successful, they won't be killing other people to sustain themselves. All of the so-called democracies builds weapon of destruction because they're not comfortable. They don't develop things to support life, to enrich life. Them develop things to kill people and feel that they're going to be so exclusive whilst they're killing people that nobody else is going to be able to represent themselves against them. So they look for the baddest weapons, and then them seek for no one else to have this knowledge of that which they have concluded. So then them create a little club of them that will deal with that, and anybody that they feel have learned anything, them say, watch out, we have to put them back, mash them up quick. And that's what goes on. Is that God-fearing? Does that have anything to do with a God? That's wickedness and evilness. Man, them sit down and decide that they're going to make chemical warfare. And then make a whole heap of dirty little things and experimented on black people in this place them called Australia. Then them go experiment on the continent with black people. That's what they do. And then there is me. Hey, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, la, 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 and everything. The people that say, you see them fools? We don't have to do too much with them. But you know, some of them, we have to keep our eyes on them. Make life somewhat difficult, because they have some of them that is, we can call them intellects. And if they don't side with us, we have to keep our eyes on them. Let's make things a bit rocky for them. Because they can become useful at some point. But if they don't recognize us, get rid of them. That's what happens. That's what happens. And it's not that we have developed nuclear nothing. It's that we have seen them for their ways, but we're not concentrating on that. We're seeing us for what we need to do for ourselves. Get close to God, get free, understand freedom, and enjoy life. Simple. You tell me so that you want to have God. You want to be close to God, but you don't want to enjoy life. You want to be dreaming like some movie and have this idea of some kind of fantasy life, Adam Lanniman or whatever, flying about on carpet, and that one said them going to get ruptured and all kind of things. And nobody not mentioned behavior yet. Nobody, people are taught love. They don't mean sex. They don't mean love as in being honest and truthful and sincere and helpful and to be charitable. They mean something else. But them use it to make someone believe, say, they're a good person. And the person or persons who hear that word, it like the word toxify them. Can I say love? What we want is love. And it captivates you for however long, just the one word. So when I meet bigots like me, say, hold on, justify what you just said. We need to love one another. So, Mr. Wham to your people then. If this love that you're talking about is so powerful, why you have all these bombs, your country? Talk to your people first before you come tell me that. Let me see it brighten up the place. And that's what just turn up in America. Can't you all see? The people them that no want nobody else but them about, and they want oppress other people, came out. There are hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of them come out. So me say to Nero, good on you. Cause you bring them out, you help expose them. It's not a joke, it's a serious thing. He helped expose them. And we are not paying attention. We behave like we are watching a movie. And it is. But we're so stuck into the Hollywood, the theatrics, and the amusement. We're not reading the movie script for the betterment of good peoples in the earth, but first and foremost ourselves. Because good people came out when good people woke up. When George Floyd, people saw what happened there. And since then, God Almighty and good human beings have let peoples all around the earth see the evils of this first world democracy and what they endorse the mistreatment of black people, the killing of black people, wholesale, with no apologies, no feelings whatsoever. And then our brothers and sisters there in Africa, they're just as ruthless. The man them have an election. The soldiers that meant to be there for security is now social justice officers. Make you feel so that there's no police force for social justice. But the people who meant to be for security of the population now become the people them who are stamping on the population, shooting the population, ill-treating the population in an election. How atrocious is that rubbish? Africa. And the US showed us all throughout last year that behavior. And then they want to now turn around and make people believe, say, the only reason those things were shown is because of Trump, Nero. No. Them dirtiness was exposed. And the so-called good media couldn't do nothing about it, and the rotten media couldn't, none of them could do nothing about it. So that's why the media platforms them now come, but them are going to block this, block. So all of a sudden, them are come with a new thing about capping out freedom of speech and expression and filming and so forth. Well, them say the cat got out the bag long time. And for us, we don't know that. It's just that we don't have nowhere to go and get justice. You got United Nations, them a laugh just the same way them laugh at His Imperial Majesty. They ignore us. So, until we huddle together and do for self, we don't. We're still seem to be dependable and waiting for the instructions and commands of the same Caucasian. Ignorant people. And then we got more than 75% of the continent talking Christendom, following the same people under neocolonialism, democracyism, and Commonwealthism. So we're locked in. And all of them have institutions, International Monetary Fund, African Bank, something controlled by them again. And then the United Nations is meant to be feeding the poverty and sufficing medical advancement, Medicare, etc., etc. And then the Western world is saying the place is too populated, need population reduction. People who were never paying attention to structures within the United Nations would not have been listening because they haven't been paying attention. So when this thing come buzzing around WhatsApp and everything, people are use it and say that it is conspiracy theory and everything. And it's not. Because them take good news, proper, truthful, honest, sincere things that people are dealing with, and then prop it up with some other thing, and now you don't know which one is authentic or not. That's what the man has done. Know ye the truth. How the hell you gonna know the truth if you don't have systems to analyze analytically and otherwise what is being said or portrayed? We're at a distance. We're not in the mix. But anyway, we have in the 80s, the end of the 70s, and up to the early 80s, they were speaking of population reductions. Before anything about climate, anything about ozone, anything about carbon, and talk about population reduction. And the head cornerstone that they looked at and discussed was Africa and the amount of birth restrictions that needs to be put there, to be emphasized there. And them capitalize that by saying there's so much malnutrition. And if any of you were alive that old, you should see that there was so much alleged famines and so much charitable thing and so much food that's coming from England or about Europe going into Africa. So much rice, so much flour, milk and everything. Huh? Turning all the women them, making them all infertile. Yeah. And make themselves look good that they are catering for our underprivileges. And why is they say that we are famine? They are utilizing the land. They are feeding themselves from that land. But yet still, there is famine. And Africa ain't got no food. And neighbors are not sharing. And they even grow acres on acres of flowers. Flowers, you know. Zimbabwe was the agriculture belt for our Sainsbury's and all these different people, plus all these flower shops. Yes. And all these chocolate companies them about the world. The chocolate is coming from Africa. And if any so-called African minister, even prime minister, president wants some chocolate, they have to buy chocolate from Italy, or France. Them own thing. How ignorant is that? And yet still some historian wants me to sit down in their auditorium and you're going to tell me, and you want me not to have my children them doing the same thing, telling me how great Africa was. Right, past tense. And all I'm asking is, what happened? Wait, did God shut them down completely? Would they just learned something from Rome? So Rome was the ones that was teaching them then. And Rome decided to say, ditch them now. That's how cynical I speak. Because they don't say, well, me no know. I'm saying I don't know, but you need to tell me. Because I'm going to be going. So my family, my children, needs to do better than me. So what happened to that knowledge? Why we are follow? We're being instructed to do what not to do. And so far it's not working. Because it's not our thing. It's not working. And that's where everything stops. Go to a friend's house, place ram, I intervene. Same thing happen. Them talk, them say something that You have to try work out yourself. But right now, we can't go into that. And I said, hold on a minute. What do you mean you can't go into that? How come we were so great yesterday and we're so ignorant today? What happened? Where did we lose that gift? Where did we lose that knowledge? How come we cannot go to that knowledge in our reservoir and resurrect ourselves? Because if it was us, you can't keep telling me about no white boy. Wait there. You mean to tell me that him take everything and him left with naked? And then I'll sit there and say, rotted. So him so bad? Why? I could remember Camden Town Hall, I say, wait. See me that white people, them so bad, man. Them just take everything from we. And the continent. So what am to God? What him do? And the place went quiet. And then the chairperson said, we'd like to move on from here. And I said, no, you can't move on from here. Because everybody want to know. And people, they want to see something, you know, but them refuse to talk. I said to the lecturer, I say, here what, you can explain what happened? And he said, it's the power of the white man, because it's not one of them. Them all do their thing together and we do our things as individuals. Something like that, you know. And it sounds rational, but by the time me sit down now and think of every word that he has used, me say, no, hold on, nothing go so. And then the crowd turn on me and say, no, man, let the man go on, and then we pick this up at the break. And then veto the thing because them say that it has made them think a lot and them can't derail the program. And it was about Caribbean people advancing because we all were affected by what happened to Morris Bishop and the administration of Grenada. We're all affected. Yeah. So, nursery rhymes and Jeremy rhymes and all them something there. Read that one there. Poverty.
Jupiter. How the devil am I just in here? Green link, how about this? No energy drain. Huh. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. I did think them where you chat, put you in a that spot. Nobody know I see you. Respect we take it back to the way you are act. Nothing we no happy give you. The last time we let you in, you try kick we out, so we not let you back in. Now you're outside and knock, but too late the shop lock. Nothing we no happy do you. Go away, go away. Go back to who send you. People condemn you. Yeah. Go away, go away. Good people not friend you. Dirty boy we condemn you. Yeah. Gary go bring come a little fry mouth. See people business and a spite out. Long time we a wonder over the inform of the news carrier we just a find out. At the hands of your feed you come a bite out. Real people people you come a fight up. Them a go put you in a hole where you can't climb out. I send round people chat from voice now. Go away, go away. Go back to who send you. Wicked boy, we condemn you. Oh boy, go away, go away. Good people condemn you. Dirty boy, we not friend you. Yeah. Every day say you're out there on the street, chatting people name and chatting people business. The world is moving, you're stuck there like a tree. Chatting people name and chatting people business. 10 years from now, tell me where you gonna be. Chatting people name and chatting people business. You shoulda known, say you woulda better be. Chatting people name and chatting people business. Go away, go away. Good people condemn you. Dirty boy, we not friend you. Whoa, go away, go away. Go back to who send you. Real people condemn you. Hey, hey. Go away, go away. Dirty boy, we not friend you. Good people condemn you. Hey, hey. Go away, go away. Go away. But we don't sit. You done? All right.
My brothers and my sisters, now this is a message of love. Oh, yeah. And if only everyone could learn to live in love and unity, then things would be better.
Yes, and that's very, 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 very true and factual. You know what I mean? Extraordinarily true. See, listen, some people might get vexed and say, yeah, say Islam. Islam is us. The Habashi, the African. Don't let the Suez Canal and the word Middle East and Saudi Arabia confuse you. Anybody. There's a lot of people in this earth here today that think Kemet, Egypt, is somewhere else. Them talk it, them feel it, and then you say, hold on, oh, you see Egypt? Yeah, man, Egypt. And you say, you know, say Egypt, Africa. What? We just talk about. You understand? And then to grow up and see all these brownings and everything there. And then last week when them shocked the world, because, you know, them a boost up themselves with money and different things, but the place has always been there. You understand? Dr. Ben and them know about that place there a long time. I've heard that dissertation by him in friend's house. Yes. So for them geezer there for come and say, right? But the good part of it, because of the preservation of the bodies and everything, you see a black people, not the painting. No. The preservation of the body, the flesh and everything, you see a black people and a naffy here. You not seen a goat here. You see lamb's wool. You understand? So these are the shock that the world will be getting, and them have to stop saying aliens again. You know, every time they make a move and don't want to say, well, them don't know what type of mathematics we they work with and what type of skills. Because they want to tell you that we did all of that to some Jews and not ourselves. You understand? The story is strange when you must sit down and decipher it and just read it back and you sit here and say, wait a minute. So where did these Jews come from? And who enslaved these Jews, and who tortured these Jews and made them build the pyramids, right? So you understand, right? And not recognizing that you're talking about yourself, but they want to try to tell you you're somebody else. Yeah, that's why I bring the story of Joseph, and I'm asking you all the question, right? Was it Joseph or Moses? Who came first? You understand? And that should just iron out the myth about these slaves, or these torturing our people to build. I shouldn't say slave, the torturing our people to build things for me. Okay. Right? But then, if you put that aside, who are these people? What kind of people are the people them that were the governments and the people them, the native people to the land? It's just like America. The place them call America. They want to make you believe, say, are theirs. When them left Europe, them left England, looking for refuge through persecution, and went there. So the story is that them got there as Quakers, Mormons, what them call themselves also Protestants, you know, and so on, and finish up torturing, killing, and hunting down the native of the land, the people, and the people that them see upon the land. I haven't read anything where them say that these people must be apes and other than humans are devils. Them just didn't want to be among a people of color. Don't you all get it? Them left England running from alleged religious persecution, and then find black people, brown people in the place them call America. And these people are serving God. And them same pilgrims and others decide, here one, we don't want to share the space with them. So them hunt them down and kill them. To kill them up. And then them decide to come with this thing that we hear them say is torch earth strategy. And then them take away different tribes, people, them food, prohibit them, not just from buffalo, from the fertile side, so that them can go out there and plant. This is what these people did. These are British. But some black people don't dare be like Melik El-Shabazz and tell it as it is, as it was and still is. So Nero made it known more and more. But we have in America, them poor boy, them have Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, and don't have any real Black Panther activists to speak. And those little boy them that call themselves House of Consciousness, them are gone sleep because their backers have told them to keep them out close. Because them confuse even me, let alone my children. About Egypt, about Kemet, but the fact that they're not Africans. Next thing is that the earth is flat. Rotted. And then the next thing is that they're Hebrews. This one is Jew, that one is this and that and that and that. And it just goes on. Pure confusion. Not about building life. Not about regaining respect and dignity for our women. Not about changing the songs, the wording, the videos, the image. Nah. Once them earn a money and them all hustle and scam good people. So I'm saying, don't follow the hype. We must learn some lessons out of what Trump represented. How him do what him do. And what come out of all of that. That's a great student when you learn. Not when you sit back and speculate and then follow the in thing. Nah, analyze, be analytical, analyze. Have critical thinking, critical analysis. And you say, Stone. And then you have to look upon your pastor and say, listen here, me divorce you, you know. Yeah, me divorce you, man. Me divorce you. Mother, father, uncle, me divorce you, pastor. Why me say mother, father? Because they might want to hold on there. That's not going nowhere. That's not holistic. That's not about drawing us together now. The reason why we're there is because we are spiritual people. But the guidance, the information that we're getting is not cohesive to our fragment. Listen, it's not. Instead of me being a polygamist, may I commit several adulteries because I'm the pastor. I'm not building Africa. I'm not even building my family. I just want some luxuries and I feel so that's it. I'm not building my family. So what are we doing? That's why I said, for a lot of us, we say Al-Islam is too restrictive. There's too much do's and don'ts there. Because you have to assess and evaluate yourself every day. Not once a month, every day. Assess and evaluate yourself, ourselves. Because we want to be dutiful in the sight of the Almighty. We want to know and feel. Once we adhere to the instructions of the Almighty, we're awarded. So it's not like we say, God, here what happened? I want this now, and I was good yesterday. Give me that. No. You just have to do good. Good will always attain you. Whatever your aspiration is, once it's not about flying, which you just have to get a plane, you will accomplish it. We will accomplish it. And it bonds us, man. The same bonding that a parent have. Not a parent that want to be a new wave feminist woman. Not a test tube woman and man. No. A human. Albeit a person will come here to your mother and everything, and all of a sudden you get so observed that you said, no, I never go through them process no more. Me's a modern man, and me's a modern woman. Plus, me not have the taste for woman again. Rockstone.
My brothers and my sisters.
Yes, Africa.
Now this is a message of love. Oh, yeah. If only everyone learn to live in love.
See them words there? If everyone was to learn to see how we express the love, and this is a Rasta man in the 70s. See how we express it. I put that there. Go out there and listen to pastor and everybody tell about love, and they don't give you a definition of what the hell them are talking about. Them just use the word love. You're supposed to feel say, yeah, it's a good thing, right? We define it. What we're talking about, what we expect, and what we are going to work towards, and what we understand, what we are projecting, what we're portraying. Genuineness, not sex, being genuine, not just now, throughout, rich and rights throughout. Not just because, oh, you see that sister over there, boy, them hips, they look good, you know. And just said, sure, I'm going to show you how me's a lover. Which love? That's not good. Not good at all. You see? So, it's all about learning. Taking responsibility and be true to self so we can be true to others. Yeah? We all want good, you know. We do. We all want good. But we just don't want to sustain the trials and tribulation and attaining the good. Because we have to climb. We have to climb. We have to. So Africa is rigged with poverty and hypocrisy. Yes, because if you check with the Ghanaian president backside, I told you, there's things that the man said that me wanted clarification, more clarification. Me wanted clarification. Don't come with this thing about send your ministers and say, oh, you recognize us. No. You're late in the day, but there's things you're saying. We don't need visa. We are chatbot, man. You know, come and say, listen, we'll look for some well-educated people, them in engineering, you know, doctors, scientists. You know, you never say a damn thing. You see what I mean? I'm supposed to get excited. Yo, the Ghanaian government come to the Caribbean. No. Stop that. Stop it, man. Johnny come lately fool. No, my mother never raised me as a fool. You see, I tell you. Yeah, what the people them name now? Yeah, you have the Quakers. Yeah, in America. Yeah, the Puritans, right? Now, you look at the Puritans, that is the Protestant, and what they stand for and what they do. I'm telling you, you're joking, man. Right? All these people, you know, right? And this is not some mysticism and fandangle rubbish that I'm talking. This is them. You understand? That left here, right? The best one out of them, like I said previously, is the Quakers, right? When you look at the Quakers, them use black imagery to make millions, billions of dollars, right? True to the fact that we pick the oaks and we grew the oats and everything for them. You understand? And so forth. And since the George Floyd thing, them change the symbol. Them change it. It thinks the people foolish. Go in the shop and see if Quaker oats have that black image on it. If you find one, it's because the stockpile that was there, right? They didn't send them back to warehouse to put into the new box. They just decide, here what happened, let me just get rid of them like that. Because so much people know that. And it's not the front line of any news or newspaper. But go in the stores them in this pandemic and you see that Quaker oats, its facial has changed. But there are people that refuse to go into war, refuse to carry gun, refuse to fight. The Quakers. Hence, why during the 70s and everything we use friends' house? Huh? 'Cause are there thing that the statues in this country, you understand, and other countries, right? And then when you go to Africa, you find them all there. You see that them never give you a chance to do anything of our own. I tell you, right? And we're behaving like say we understand freedom. We don't understand nothing. We don't. We want to, but we haven't understood anything. We know that we're not free, but we're not working to obtain freedom. Huh? The colonial past is still controlling. European missionaries are in Africa time after time. What did they do? They mesmerize their people. Who's that? Them go to the women, them friend them up, get them piece of garment here, there, and everywhere. Right? Why is they vaccinating them in all kind of different experimental drugs and so forth and so forth? And them can see that the people them don't have toilet, no proper sanitaries and everything. Huh? And we're still there. Then next thing you know, them build a church, them build a school. So what? Huh? Our education is through them. Our mentality is through them. We're waiting for them to give we handouts. And with the government, that the people then fight and get beat up and everything and so forth, that supposed to be taking care of the population, is not doing their job. What them doing is imposing themselves and making sure that democracy that the white man want and all his economics setup is in place. So you have this middle class tier, divide and rule structures have been implemented across the continent. So the people in the village, they're speaking about, their pastors talking about salvation is coming. And the picture that them have don't look like them. And Paul is telling them, they're telling the people them, to persevere and put your trust in Jesus Christ. So all these proverbs that we have that belong to the elders throughout years is being parked up. That's a way. So them a wait upon the white boy. Them a wait upon Jesus. And them have some serious affinity with Paul. Why social justice, health care, and education is not there. The exploitation of the population. But then you have Asians and everybody else are coming in and live prestigious lives. Because them not indulging in that. Them come here to make life for themselves. Advance themselves to help them people back home. And some of them decide, you know what, may I bring everybody. After 3 years, then bring them grandmother, great-grandmother, everybody. And then I run the hotels, the taxi services, the pharmacies, the domestic appliances, and so forth. Asian, Indians, Pakistani, Bengalis, Indian people, them. When I talk Chinese, Indian people, them. And it looked like we don't have hands, neither do our brains work. And you not see no Indian in any slum. And you don't see them children or go to these impoverished schools. Nah. And for that matter, before you know it, them already build school and college. And the mass majority of the people who are teach, them import them. Now you see Chinese. Now you see American. Now you see a lot of European are teaching in these Indian institutions. With proper facilities. And this is in your own land. And this same stupidness happens in the Caribbean. After 70-something years. What are we actually doing? Now we're waiting for America to change the Constitution to accommodate us. We're going to wait till the cow get wings. Because the agendas are going to consistently change. Discrimination and racism is going to be rifled. Nothing going to change there. Like nothing is changing in England. Last week, what happened? Yesterday, the program that them show, what happened? Everything's unsolved, no one gets charged, nothing happens. And them say time after time after time, and the length of time, people we all don't forget, but nothing moves on. Everything remains the same. We don't get justice. So it's not about being eloquent. It's about being consistent and understanding the law and not the bylaws, the law. And understand what form of justice are we actually seeking. But you know what? We wait till there's an incident then to try to understand what justice is and what the law is. When we should have been on top of the goddamn thing due to previous experiences. So we let ourselves down. Then we got to sit down and come corner with talk about femininity. Yes. And let welfare service and social services dictate my house. Now, if in America the man have left because of all of this, it's the same thing happen over here. Is it good? No. But the pressure that they inflict on the man, and he doesn't know how to cope and deal and respond, neither did the woman. But now the woman is got at, and she become a feminist, and she's talking a particular talk, and she wants to look a particular way, and then she says, you know what, I don't need no man in my life, you know. I'm a new age woman. Yeah. She's a new age woman. Now she want to have a baby. She say, all right then, I'll go down to this clinic here. Let that man take one of them sperm out of this test tube and make him inject it in me. Right? And the people them get this child are some children and they don't give her none. Because they look at her condition, circumstance and say, listen, you won't be a good parent. She won't be a good parent. She can't raise any children. So now these children become a what to who? Pharmaceuticals and system. That's why it's very difficult to understand how we become so violent in England. Our children, so violent, so reckless, don't care about life, no value. Little children made up their mind to take the life of another one. They intended to because they're going to arm themselves. And then them say, you know what? I want respect. Just like the one who shout out love. These ones that say we want respect. Damn. And to them not show me no respect. Huh? I'm going to claim it. What? So what am I do? Huh? Them carried a knife out a street and them see you look good. Them decide, nah, I'm going to wreck you. Because them arm. And it's we who have problem. We have problem. And we need to look at it seriously. We have problems. So, I go in. I hope soon I watch that program.
It's time for man to stop and look into ourselves. You see me I say?
Black are black and white are white. In it, every nation of us who wrong from right.
See? Yeah. So we are going now, and we are go straight. Rastafari is my religion. Guidance.
I am the conquering Lion of Judah. Stand up with me, Jah. Rastafari is my religion. Natty dreadlocks is my culture. And no one can take it away from me. If I'm eating a slice of bread, I'm gonna share it with my brethren. If I am drinking a cup of tea, I'm gonna share it with my brethren. Whoa, 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 whoa. The conquering Lion of Judah is always traveling with dreadlocks men. To travel with the Rasta man.
Yes, announcement. You see the flip chart that you watch on the screen. Yeah. Them thing that I'm bringing to our areas. I am. God willing. But it's but in doing so, yeah, I know myself that I'm exclusive in what I present. Just like the next man. You understand? So God give me an opportunity, God willing. And if I don't get the opportunity in this life, myself, my son will. Without a shadow of doubt. I'm going to continue my basketball development program, and he will, God willing, be able to give people in his own time juices. That not going to stop him from graduating. That not going to stop him from getting a bachelor degree and everything. That not going to stop him from being he's already a Hafiz, alhamdulillah. That not going to stop him. Right? And I'm saying this boastfully because the imprint of me is in him. Not by force. He will naturally do that. You understand? So I am bold enough to put it up there. Another man can come and say, well, him can use some spinach this is God's world. Him can use some spinach and this and that. And if me can get it look like what that man have up there, so me did it. All right, no problem. You can go Whole Food and all them places there and see the thing, you know. But you see what? Everybody have a taste. Yeah? Everybody have some uniqueness. See? And two, my wife suffered with a cancer and I have seen him ago and everything, and she was into this juicing, and I was not into it. But then if me I support her, me have to support her. And it's precisely and exactly what I've done. You understand? So I know how exclusive what I do is. So me not fuss. Me not fuss. You understand? That's it. I'm saying to people out there, use the ginger, and get rid of these inflammatory issues. Yeah? Use the garlic, plunge it, boil it, drink it. Forget all this rubbish about it. Oh gosh, it stinks, and so forth. Naturally immune system, wake up call. Purge yourself. Natural. Am I trying to make money? No. But there's some jackass out there that do that. Jackasses, yeah, they do that. They don't want to exchange their knowledge or their insight to the people without benefiting. That's it. But then we have some programs that have come, and the sister sent the thing out for people to tune in, register and everything, and it's free, so they can be informed and getting knowledge, information, proper information about holistic, organic vegetables and what the combinations are to aid and support our anatomy. Not just because of COVID. And people are being reluctant. Never, if it's a Chacha man and woman, Chinese and white, they be overbooked. And they would have to tell people, say, watch out, you have to wait for the second thing, because no, we've already got like 2,000 people, and the way Skype and this, you understand? And we can't even get 10 people like in a hurry. But give me a piece of gossip about what take place in America and what take place with Britain and Brexit and COVID and everything. Everybody want to take my thing now, send it to a whole heap of different people. Part of the WhatsApp extended community. We're not working properly. So have a look, feel like TSN, yeah? Experiment with what you have at home if you have any equipment. You understand? You're good to go. Right? When our website is out there and that thing's up there, you will be able to order from what we are giving out this week. We have said green machine this week, a green machine week. Bring your bottle and come and bring your bottle. Bring your bottle and come. If you don't have bottle, it'll be a little extra. Because we now work with the plastic. For our own good and for your benefit. Tell the next man out there who are dropping thing in a plastic and all of a sudden them go bottle. Good. Are we? That old nigger attitude, that my thing is exclusive, me not share it with nobody. That's why we have nothing. So look on a white man. Don't you see that them unilaterally agree with their designs and everything else? You think say this particular car is exclusive to him? You're mad. And you've been in England so long? Is we have a problem. Is we have the problem. We not share what God give it. We get kicks out of misusing and trickifying one another. That's ignorance. Me not in that. My grandmother and my mother never raised me like that. Not in that. But somebody out there is going to go, that's why you're not rich. How the hell you know that? I am very rich. You want to be rich with a big bank account. I'm rich with the Almighty God. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. I tell you, all the young people them come in my basketball. I always sing this song to them, you know. I'm one of the richest men, human beings on this earth. Because my mother helped me for maintain my life. And God has given me an opportunity. So me thank God. And I'm extraordinarily rich. You understand? Yeah. So if you value yourself, your body, your life, you know I see you're rich. But if you want to be rich with mammon, go ahead. You're living in misery. You're living in misery. Because you always want more. You become greedy. Huh? You become greedy. You even lie to yourself. Because you want so much. Human beings. You sleep and you plan plots. Because you're lying. You're trying to cheat people out of them life for you to be rich. Look at how much so-called rich people in this world and white people, and see if them not dead some miserable reality life or they live a lonesome life. Because them never get their money legally and properly. Them just misuse people. Undercut, undermine, undervalue. Them just cheated people. And when them have so much, they never say thanks to God, and they never give the less fortunate, underprivileged people anything. So them just live a miserable life. Libya utilize their resources and eliminate poorness and poverty in the land. In Libya, the administration, the government of Libya under Colonel Gaddafi, them did that better than any bomber Saudi Arabia or Dubai, Bahrain, and them people there. Them people that do our white people thing. Them having golf, them having races and all kind of thing. Pure decadence when the night come in the darkness. Nasty people. Gaddafi and his government, that's what they did. They were a beacon for the world, not for Muslims, for Arabs, for the world. And they obliterated this country. Syria was also the same. Was moving to eliminate poverty. Young Assad. What did Clinton and America do? And Britain? Mash it up. And Britain used to have over 30,000 students every 2 years out there learn in Aleppo. And I hear them say, he lived there. I love Syria. Now it mash up. Mash it up. Sudan, highly religious etiquette. 27 years of war. Oh, it get like that. After all the experience of the British, General Gordon and all these different people, Churchill and all these people, all their filth was transmitted into those people. But them people still have Quran. Them have Islam. They're Arabs. They're African Arabs. Look at their behavior. Human beings. That's what we are. So all I'm saying is, know what we are doing, what we're asking for. And if you fear God, fear God. If it's man you fear, then don't bother with it, nothing. Because you're idiot. You fear your own shadow. You understand? Seriously. And what we say we fear God, we don't want to do nothing wrong. It's not that God make we frightened. No. God make we love. God sustain we life. God give we life. God give us the best favor that we have. And when we die, our soul is going back to the Creator God. So all them big bossy people, you go on, talk what you want to talk. And say that you don't validate this and that and that and that. And then don't tell people truth. Because when you have your little dream and your little visions and everything, tell the people. Say, right, you know this God thing, a serious thing, you know. Cause what me see up there, Nasalasi, hey, yo, you know, me see myself, me not like what me see, you know. We have to do some changes, star. Yeah? But, you know, some people, them too boosy, you know, and then they become lied. Yeah, I tell you. Guidance.
Sailing in a sinking ship. Watch it. Stop doing it. I want to friend, walk away from trouble if you can.
Let's do the things we know is right, and live love for everyone. And nobody with no fuss, nobody with no fight.
But this happens to be a musical treat.
It's not that I don't love you. You know how much I do. And it's not that I found somebody to take the place of you. But it's just the feel within me. When you touch my hand, and a feel that shakes my body, and I don't understand, so I'm leaving. This time I'm playing it smart. I'm gonna walk away from love before love breaks my You're clinging to me tighter than you have before. But you know it's gonna take everything to stop me walking out that
Yes. So you see, we talk about love again and again and again. So we say, love you and leave you. Guidance, we're gone. Yes. Africa, remember, we have to do something for Africa. We have to do something for ourselves. You understand? We have to do something for ourselves and our family. And we have to do something for Africa. Because we have to make Africa understand that this poverty start at home. Caribbean, this poverty thing, have to turn it around. You understand? Get rid of it, alleviate it. You understand? And send the mosquito them packing, right? No dirty water and everything. Mosquito gone, you know. Mosquito were dead. You understand? Them now go fly across ocean and everything. Them finish. You understand? Raise the standard of living. You understand the conditions and everything. It's important, right? If you are justified person say that you're managing the country and everything, should never open up the doors and let people them in when the course is not clear. Your first priority is look after your citizens. You understand? First priority. See, the welfare, the healthcare and everything are your citizens. But you run down money and let people dictate what and what is what. Nah, a rubbish thing that stupidness. Definitely stupidness. You understand? Serious thing. So, we say guidance. God bless everybody. You understand? We're gone.